All right, just ahead at 6:30, welcome back to Up with KREM. I'm Jen York. We are continuing to track breaking news this morning. Miners are trapped underground at the Galena Mine Complex in North Idaho. Now, this stems from power outages linked to yesterday's windstorm. Nicole Hernandez is joining us live now in Wallace to tell us more about what is happening there in North Idaho. Hi, Nicole. Looks like her shot is frozen. Of course, we'll get back to Nicole this morning. All right, looks like our connection has been reestablished. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, there we go. You got me now? Okay, so like I was saying, the miners are not in any immediate danger at this point, but they have been overnight now in this mine. They got stuck in the mine after power went out during the windstorm. The miners that are up above ground say that they all have access to food and water and fresh air, and that they've actually been in contact with each other. The miners up above ground and the miners in the mine shaft, of course, that they've been in contact. They have phones that they can talk to each other, and that they are safe at this point. But at this point, it's really a waiting game. They weren't able to tell us how many people are down there, but they did say that some of the miners, some of the younger, healthier miners, were able to climb up out of the shaft. So this is a shaft mine that takes miners thousands of feet into the ground. So some miners did decide to make that trek, make that climb up to surface level, but others decided to wait out until they get power back. Last we heard from the mine is that Avista told them 5 a.m. was their target time to get power back up. Of course, we're now at 6:30 now. This entire region is still dark. Power is still out. So, like I've been saying, it's a matter of waiting for Avista to do that job and make that happen as soon as power gets back up. Of course, that the shaft can continue to move and they can get out of the oh, I thought I saw a light pop up. That was just a car. Get out of the mine, of course. But like I mentioned, they're all safe for now. It's just a waiting game. And as soon as we figure out when power gets back on and how long it will take them to get out, I will make sure to bring that information to you. I'll send things back to you guys.
Yeah, Nicole, initially they were saying about 5 a.m. they were expecting the power to be on, but as of right now, it looks like it's pretty dark there.
Yeah, definitely. The only reason we're lit up is our car lights and the light on top of our photographer's camera here. So everything else is pitch black in this area.
All right, Nicole, thank you again. We're working to get more information about the situation developing there in North Idaho. Nicole, thank you so much for that live report. Well, this morning, thousands of homes are still without power following yesterday's historic windstorm. You can see downtown Spokane. The camera much more stable this morning than this time yesterday. We saw it shaking in the wind about 6:30 yesterday. Well, right now, City of Spokane crews are working to clean up the damage. And Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward is joining us now live to talk about the city's response to this storm. So good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Jen.
Well, do you have any updates from overnight? What are our crews looking at?
Well, city crews continue to work. There's a lot of cleanup to do. We've had several hundred trees down in city parks, golf courses, right-of-ways, neighborhoods. So we're working to clear as many as possible, especially those that have blocked arterials. Then crews go in and target residential streets that are blocked. But there's a lot of cleanup to happen, and so our crews are really focused on that.
And when we're talking about the crews, do we know how many crews are out on the streets right now and how long it's anticipated to get it all cleaned up?
Yeah, it's all hands on deck right now. In fact, in order to speed up this process today, I will be issuing an emergency order, and that is for procurement purposes. That's to help get more crews, maybe contracted crews out to help in addition to what the city crews are able to do. There's just too much work for our crews to try to get done right now. And with the impending, there's a possibility of snow in the forecast. We want to get as much of the debris cleaned up as possible. I should tell you, too, that for residents, we are allowing people to take their debris to the waste-to-energy plant starting tomorrow for free for drop-off through the month of January. And then next week, we'll allow residents to use their green bins for clean debris through next week.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit this morning, making it a little bit easier to clean up some of this debris. But of course, we're talking about, hundreds of downed trees just in some of our city parks. And of course, there's residential damage. Do you have any idea yet of how much this is going to cost the city?
We don't. This is the very, very early stages. We won't know until we're further into the cleanup. But we're going to be looking at every avenue possible to recoup these costs, whether that's FEMA or whatever relief is available.
Of course, for us who were here in 2015, it's very reminiscent of the 2015 windstorm. What lessons did the city learn from 2015 that could be applied to this storm?
Well, you always have to be ready, right? But you never know what the impact you're going to have until it's right on top of you. And so we were on standby. We had crews ready to meet whatever need there was. And the damage is significant. I did a tour yesterday. Comstock Park alone lost 50 trees. I mean, it looks like a war zone. So, you're always ready, and you don't know how long it's going to take to get all the debris and all the cleanup done. But we're going to do it. We're going to work around the clock and get as much of it done as quickly as we can because of the weather. One thing that we are asking people is that I know it's there's a curiosity factor out there when you see all this damage in your neighborhood and especially in the park. But we're asking people not to walk around all of that damage, especially in our park. A lot of those uprooted trees have possibly impacted underground utilities. And there are a lot of damaged trees out there with hanging limbs. We don't want anyone to get hurt. It's just not safe to be out and about walking in those areas.
And that's something that actually we were talking about in studio a little bit earlier. We saw people kind of looky-loos going out and taking pictures yesterday, but a good reminder, yeah. And especially in Comstock Park, we even saw down power lines there still this morning. So that is a good reminder for the public. If people need help or assistance from the city, what can they do?
Well, they can call 311. That's the first thing. And then we are also asking people to, help out their neighbors. If you have neighbors that have down limbs and they're blocking sidewalks or walkways, get out and help your neighbor. If you've got a chainsaw or just some manpower that you can volunteer, we're asking people to pitch in together, especially in those neighborhoods.
All right, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Of course, we'll be with you, talk to you about more of this emergency declaration coming up later today and how that will impact our city. So thanks so much for your time and being with us this morning.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, it is coming up now on 6:37. Joshua Robinson is out touring the damage this morning. Joshua, what are you seeing?
Hey, Jen, we're a couple blocks north of Comstock Park. We heard from the mayor just now talking about how Comstock Park was one of the hardest hit areas, but right now we're on Post Street, kind of an unusual scene here. If you look over to one side of the street, there is absolutely no power, all dark houses, but then on the side of the street that we're standing on over here, you can see lights, you can see power clearly on in homes. So just one of the many sights and scenes that we're making out this morning as we take a look at the damage. Now, this intersection is also, unfortunately, where yesterday's storm turned tragic yesterday, and that leads us to today's three things that you need to know about the storm. We have unfortunate news to report this morning that yesterday's storm has claimed the life of two people. Two people have died as a result of yesterday's storm. We reported that first death yesterday morning right here on Up with KREM, a woman who died on the South Hill when a tree fell on her car. Now, a Post Falls man, we're being told, was also killed when a tree hit his car while he was driving on Highway 97 in North Idaho. And the city of Spokane is reporting 130 fallen trees at parks in our area. If you were with us earlier this morning, we were at Comstock Park where we saw just some of those trees making such a notable impression in the dark. You could see them jutting out into the street in some spots, completely covering the street in other spots, and of course bringing down what appeared to be wires. Tough to tell at this time this morning if it's telephone wires, power wires, but we are always recommending you to stay away from any wire, treat any wire as if it is live this morning. And of course, in other news, that 71-mile-per-hour gust that hit yesterday was recorded at the Spokane International Airport, and that makes the 2021 windstorm just as strong as the historic storm in 2015 at its peak. Coeur d'Alene did record a wind gust of 61 miles per hour, and the strongest winds were felt early yesterday morning. The winds did slowly down throughout the day. Those strong gusts still hit 40 to 50 miles per hour into the afternoon hours. And of course, right now, Jen, we're just feeling a slight breeze. It's a little colder than we were yesterday, quite a bit colder than it was yesterday morning. But of course, it's a little bit eerie in some spots. And of course, we know that the situation weather-wise this morning very different from what we saw. So let's get Jeremy Legoo for what we can expect today. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Joshua. It is much colder than where we were this time yesterday. Temperatures starting out the day in the 20s for much of the region. You're feeling it as you wake up, and those of you without power hopefully are doing a great job of staying warm. That 20-degree start to the day is significantly colder than where we were this time yesterday. For many, it's a 15 to 20, even greater drop in temperatures from where we were this time just 24 hours ago. That comes thanks to those light winds Joshua was talking about and clear skies overhead. It allows all of our heat to escape in the overnight hours. We'll hang on to those clear skies as we scoot through the day, offering plenty of sunshine. Overnight tonight, we do have a little bit of a disturbance moving in that will hit us early Friday morning. And as Mayor Woodward said, there is a possibility of a little bit of a wintry mix at the onset of that storm early tomorrow morning. We are going to keep a very close eye on that. Some models suggest we could see a little bit of that accumulate. Others say it's more rain than not. As we head into the weekend, it's all about the cloud cover. Here's a look at today. Temps go from mid-20s to upper 30s later on this afternoon, and it comes with ample sunshine in the sky. We've got plenty more up with KREM coming up. Don't go anywhere.